What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of No Reserves Radio. I just fucked up that intro, and Alex,
Hey guys.
Alex, what's up,
Hey.
buddy? How'd
Hey. What's up?
how'd those Ravens do?
How's life going? Yeah, it's going nicely. Thank you. How about you? How's everything, man? How's life? How's work? How's all of that, huh?
This guy.
Pretty uneventful week, I guess.
No, it's been an eventful week, all right. I actually got a new furnace. It's now 70
Ah,
degrees where I am, which is
see?
very good.
That's much more interesting than
And
talking
I got
about
central
whatever
air,
happened.
so I have air conditioning when it's hot and heating when it's cool.
You see? Now that's good news. That's
Yeah.
better news than whatever happened on Sunday that I don't remember.
Oh, okay, okay. You don't remember what happened on Sunday?
Yeah. How was your Sunday?
Hold on, I might have a quick reminder. Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
what? Huh?
What? What?
So,
What?
what did they?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Huh?
Go on.
That
Go on.
that
Talk.
guy's
Talk.
weird. Nah, that guy's weird. Like, who wins by double digits anyway?
Yeah.
Like,
Who wins by double digits in the playoffs anyway?
yeah, yeah, it's really weird, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I guess I have to take it on then. Unfortunately, none of my Super Bowl picks made it to the Super Bowl.
I mean, you should listen. You should take solace in the fact that I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
There's nothing to take solace in.
great. I'll take solace in one thing that I
Uh-huh.
was pretty right on how the game should have gone for the Lions to win. So the first half was actually exactly what I was hoping for the Lions because I thought that was the recipe for them to make it to the Super
All right.
Bowl.
All right. All right.
The
Give
thing
give us a
is,
breakdown. What did you, for anyone who didn't listen last week, what did you think was going to happen, and then what ended up ultimately happening?
so I thought the best way for them to beat the Niners and something that I was expecting to happen was for Dan Campbell to be super aggressive, take the ball first, score the touchdown, managed to get a stop, get managed to get another score. So now they're up two scores by the time the Niners get the second possession. Be aggressive on fourth down, keep running the ball, limit the amount of errors that your QB can make, and limit the amount of possessions that you give to the Niners, while always being around two scores up. Now, this was what happened in the first half, and they executed that masterfully. I mean, they were up two scores, if I'm not mistaken, by the half. I believe the score was 24-10, if I'm not mistaken. So they were up 14 going into the half. And then just shit at the fan, man. They just. I did not expect that from the Niners. I thought they were a team that when they get out
Did
of sync,
not
it's hard for
expect
them
that
to
from
get
a
back.
non.
I did not because I mean, there's a stat out there that like when entering the fourth quarter, when Shanahan is down, he usually loses those games. I mean, I believe he has only won one game, and that was or I guess not last week, but not this Sunday, the past Sunday versus the Packers. That was, I believe, his first win when trailing when entering the fourth quarter. So I was expecting something like that. And yeah, I mean, they apparently can get in sync even when they're down two scores and they can execute their game plan still. And they won the game. I mean,
So let's talk about the Lions and their stout run defense and that little white guy that I talked about last week, Christian McCaffrey.
yeah. How did he do? I didn't see any of that.
I'm sure you didn't. Are you
Yeah,
being
no.
serious?
No, of course not.
Of course.
I saw all of it.
I wouldn't
I saw
blame
all of
you
it.
if because I don't you sent me a message and you said when you saw the Brandon Ayuk touchdown you knew it was over. So, maybe you turned off. Maybe you missed
No,
Christian
no,
McCaffrey
no,
getting
no.
like 130 all-purpose yards, 90 on the ground and two touchdowns. Maybe you missed it. It could have
Uh,
happened.
much Much like the week prior, I watched the first half live and then I watched the second half when I woke up while I was having breakfast.
Oh, that
So
must
that
have
was a
ruined your
good
breakfast,
breakfast.
man.
Yeah, it was not the best.
So what you're
I missed
saying
them though.
is that Kyle Shanahan, Christian McCaffrey, and the San Francisco 49ers effectively pissed in your Cheerios.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Uh-huh.
It is really weird to me that like the Lions managed to establish a pretty dominant run game in the first half. And then in the second half they sort of just decided they were gonna throw the ball all over the Niners. And I guess that would have worked if I had more than one Amon-Ra St. Brown, because the amount of drops
We
that
had Sam
Josh
Laporta.
Reynolds had. Yeah, but that's not an Amon-Ra St. Brown. I guess they needed to have three or four because, I mean, Josh Reynolds, the amount of balls that he dropped, I counted at least two or
Oh no,
three
we're talking about
drops.
drop balls again.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
those happened. Those were a thing. It hurt him for sure. And, I mean, there's not much I can say. Like, they show that they were an inexperienced football team versus a team that has been around the playoffs for quite a while. And at the end of the day, I mean, they just weren't composed enough to be in a position in which they were leading, entering the second half, and establishing that same dominance throughout the whole second half and keeping the foot on the gas. No, they got cute in that situation. They started to throw the ball more when they were having pretty solid success while running the ball. They got cute and shit hit the fan. Oh, great. Now there's a bunch of sound bites from me, and that's just lovely, man. That's just lovely.
You think you got out scot free? No, 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 no. I had at least a little something prepared. I
Yeah.
had to at least have a little something prepared.
No, but again, you mentioned it before. That IU catch that went basically down at the inside the five, I believe.
I think
When
it was
that
at least a
catch was
one.
made, or
Yeah,
yeah, I was gonna say the one, but I wasn't 100% sure. I knew it was inside the five, but
it was
yeah, I
close.
think it was the
That's
one
the
as well.
point. It was close.
Yeah. Uh, when that catch was made, I mean, what are we doing here, man? How does he catch that ball? I mean, I saw a picture from Alliance subreddit, and it's like the DB has the ball in his hands, basically. He's about to close his hands, and the ball is sitting right there. And Ayuk is like on top of him, and he's nowhere near the ball. And the title was just, "This was a reception." And it's just mind boggling how that was a catch, man. Yeah, I mean, the team that was down managed to keep themselves composed and got the breaks. That's this game was not nearly as egregious as the Ravens game in
Mm.
terms of like
Oh,
they
we'll get to
weren't
that.
really hurt.
I got some
Yeah, I'm
triumphants and some victory laps to take.
yeah, I mean, you're free to, I guess. There's
Uh-huh.
not much that I can do here outside of
Uh-huh.
saying that I won both spread picks, so I got
Oh,
that going for me. I have to take my W's when I can, man. But yeah, I mean, this was just it was a difference in like playoff mentality. One team knew what they had to do to get up from being down to scores. The other didn't really understand what they needed to do to keep that lead. So they got cute, as I said before, and
here's
yeah,
what I
shit.
don't understand. Here's what I don't
What?
understand. You because here's this was what I never understood about your predictions was what was the first thing you said when we reviewed the divisional round? You're like, "Oh, well, you can go back and watch and, generally speaking, the better quarterback and the better head coach and the team with the more experience in the playoffs won the game." That's what you can say in every single matchup. What happened in the two matchups where the two teams were the first time making the divisional round? They lost.
Yeah,
You
got
should have
carried
just
away
stuck
by
to
the
your guns.
emotion there.
You had the blueprint. You gave out the blueprint. Then you took the blueprint, scrounged it up, threw it in the trash, and then I picked it up and I used it.
Yeah, I mean, I was especially in this game. I got carried away by the emotion. I mean, Dan Campbell has that effect on people, I guess, and I
He
felt
does.
for it.
He does.
And I mean,
I do. I
guy
will
had a
say
chance
I
here.
loved the going 4 down 4. I loved all of that, but like they need some kind of A, they need a second wide receiver, and B, the Lions do. And B, they needed this. They needed experience because the Detroit Lions as a whole just have not experienced winning. It's new. Trust me, I've been there. It's new. It's you're gonna doubt yourself, but you need these experiences so you can grow and learn from them, so you don't make the same mistakes.
Yes. And you made a solid point there, because I saw a lot of criticism about this, regarding him going for the fourth down, especially in a game like this. We in the show, we have applauded Dan Campbell for sticking with his guns and trusting analytics, despite being a guy that doesn't look like he would trust analytics, especially back in his like press conference. People didn't really expect him to be that sort of guy.
Yes.
They expected him to be the more like cold-headed guy who just says that they needed to play football like it was back in the 80s or 90s
Right.
and screw the analytics. And I mean, part of the reason why the Lions did so well was because he trusted the analytics and he went for it the most of any other team in the NFL on fourth down. And in downs that, like, typical football, like hold at football, would say kick the field goal or punt. I mean, he goes for it and gets it most of the time. So now, if we're criticizing him going for it on fourth down
No.
in a game of this magnitude, I mean, then we're just asking for him to be Brandon Staley, where like he's lauded as applauded as this analytics guy, but he only goes for the analytics when he so then pleases. And no, I mean he just stuck with his thing, with his guns. He stuck with his mentality on football. He trusted the analytics still. I mean, the result in the end wasn't good, but I mean, I
Okay.
think he has to be applauded for that and not criticized.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that. You know, I think the Lions played a much better game than the Ravens did when we get to it. And I think overall, most of the stuff Dan Campbell did is to be applauded.
I mean, yeah, they played
They
for
had
sure
never
a
been
better
there
game.
before. They had never been
Yeah,
there before. So as cliche as it sounds, they more or less played half a game of football instead of a full game of football. And that's what
exactly.
ended up happening.
Yeah. I said before that they were up 24-10 at half. They were up 24-7 at the half. Then the
Yes.
Niners scored 17 unanswered in the third. So
Yep.
that said, I mean, take nothing away from Campbell and the amazing season that the Lions had. They just were not the team that was prepared for this moment, and it happens. And I'm sure they will bounce back. And I
I
know
have
it's
more
cliche.
confidence saying that the Lions will be back than I do saying the Ravens will be back.
Huh, we'll get there. We'll get there. But I mean, nothing taken away from their season. And I know it's cliche to say that they will have plenty of chances to be back here because most of the times I would say it's not necessarily true because it is such a rare moment to reach the championship game that you don't want to take it for granted. But I think this team is young. I think this team didn't really expect to compete right away. They thought they were a team that was 1 or 2 years away with the amount of rookies that they added earlier through the draft. I think this team will come back stronger. And I mean, if there's any guy who can make them bounce back from this mentally, it's Dan Campbell. So
Yes. Do you think that Jared Goff is the long-term plan for the Lions after this loss? Has that changed that discussion for you at all?
yeah, I don't really think I put anything on Goff
Okay.
regarding this loss. To be honest, I
Okay.
think he had a few drops. He didn't really make any sort of egregious mistake. The stat line wasn't great,
Actually,
but they were pretty
but you
dominant
know
on
who
the
did
ground.
make an egregious mistake?
No,
Lamar did.
I'm not so sure I wanted to know. So I think you're mistaking me by someone who wanted to know, Angelo. I think you are. Uh-huh. Oh, we'll
Ah,
get there. We'll get there. Final thoughts. Yeah, I think there has been reported that they are entering contract negotiations with Goff as well. So yeah, I think he's the future there for quite a while. And it's hard.
good for
I
him.
mentioned
By the
it.
way,
I
good
believe
for him.
it's yeah, good for him. I mean, he was a guy that was doubted. when he was moved off from the Rams. And I even mentioned in the last episode that it's hard to ditch that label of the guy not being it and being just like game manager, placeholder, wherever. But I think he
Here's
has really elevated the Lions.
an interesting discussion for you because we're gonna do this with the AFC too when we get there. Because we have talked over the years how rankings have changed so much during a season. Who do you think are the top five quarterbacks? It doesn't have to be a dynasty, just right now. Who are the top five quarterbacks in the NFC to you?
In the NFC,
In the NFC. You can do them one
okay.
through five. You can say I don't want to do any order. I don't care. But I think the NFC is a lot harder to pick out than the AFC.
It is especially harder to go 1 through 5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Okay, so in no particular order, I would say
Mm.
Stafford.
Okay.
I would say Hurts
Exactly.
still.
Yep.
I would say, surprisingly, I would say Jordan Love.
Think Jordan Love's in the top five? Yeah.
Yes. So I've said three, right?
Yep.
And then I would say Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, it's a three-way tie for me.
Okay.
And I think if this guy wasn't hurt, I think this wouldn't be as big of a statement, but I think I would say Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
So I'm putting Cousins ahead of Dak and ahead of Goff. And I think if
I
we're doing six, it's
disagree with that.
Goff.
But I think
Who
you
is your
just
top five?
back. Who's my top five?
Yeah.
Hurts, Dak, Purdy. Then it really it's the debate on the final two. Gonna do Goff and Cousins.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Maybe this is just like recency bias, but I really can't shake off the loss from the Dallas Cowboys and how inept Dak looked in that game. So I really can't put him top five right now.
Yeah.
I would rather take the shot on the young guys in Love, for example, and Purdy. I guess
That's
there's
why
not so
rankings
many.
change so much from year to
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, and maybe, as I said, recency bias. Maybe if we do this around the draft time, it's different.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So,
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 I guess that's the show, huh?
uh-huh. Uh-huh, I'm sure it is. Be
Yeah,
sure to
I think.
subscribe, hit the donate button.
Yeah, all of that.
Uh-huh,
Even
all
Angelo
of
is doing the outro. So, see you guys
that.
next week. Bye.
So, what happened to Lamar, buddy? He had a completion percentage that resembled your
I left. What did you say? I thought the show was done. I guess it
accuracy
wasn't done. Oh, you cut off there. I
since that
thought
was
you were
fumbled.
making like a break.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No, you actually cut off there. It's for real. You actually cut off there. Oh, yeah. I thought. I mean, yeah. It is what it is. There's not much more that I can say than it is what it is, man. I probably doubted Mahomes for the last time ever. Mm. You're really cutting off, by the way. Like plenty right now. Maybe it's on my end. That can actually be the thing. Yeah. Network problems. The gift that keeps on giving. Are you there?
Hello? Hello, hello?
Hello?
Is that better?
Okay, yeah, that's much
That
better.
ain't better.
Okay, I didn't
Okay.
know if it was on my
So,
end or if it was on yours.
so let me put it to you this way, buddy.
Okay, okay,
Are you ready for this list?
go.
People who have beaten Joe Burrow in the or Joe Burrow. People who have beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. The list is Joe Burrow and Tom Brady.
Hmm, interesting.
So, is Lamar part of that list? I'm just curious. Has Lamar ever
Mm,
beaten Patrick Mahomes? I don't think so.
once. I think he
Oh,
beat him
yeah, that's
once.
right. Never mind. You're right. He is. He
Yeah.
has one win in the regular
Yes.
season on Patrick Mahomes about 3 years ago. You're right.
A win. A
So
win is a win.
so here's the thing. As assuming like Patrick Mahomes is healthy and the Kansas City roster is serviceable, I don't know like why you keep voting against him. Unless it's Joe Burrow with a defense that could stop an all-time great quarterback. It's not happening.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
It's
Sorry,
probably
Josh
better.
Allen. It's not happening. Sorry, Lamar Jackson. It's not happening.
So now that we're talking about Mahomes in particular,
Uh-huh.
I this has been talked about a lot now that he's making another Super Bowl, now that he has won
He's better
another
than Brady, dude.
AFC.
He's better than Brady.
Okay, so you're going there. You're saying that he's better than Brady.
He doesn't have the accolades yet,
Okay.
but he is better
So,
than Brady. Two things can be right at the same time. He could still have a long way to go, and he could something catastrophic could happen, and he could not get there. But if you line up Tom Brady where he was, what is this year 5, 6 for Patrick Mahomes?
this is year 6, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Okay. If you took year 6 Tom Brady and put him up against year 6 Patrick Mahomes, year 6 Patrick Mahomes wipes the floor with him. Just flat out.
Um,
Just flat
hmm,
out. Doesn't happen.
okay. So that has been, I've heard that a lot. And I guess the way you put it, it's probably the best one, in which it's like he is not currently the GOAT because he does not have the
Oh,
accolades.
listen, if you think Patrick Mahomes through 6 years is the greatest quarterback of all time or the greatest football player of all time, you're smoking something. There is a path and trajectory you need to take. All I'm saying is, through 6 years, he is the best. Can he
Okay,
sustain it?
but
No idea. But
okay, so
his,
you're
I'll
putting into
I'll
that
give this
context. Okay.
I'll give this first 6 year stretch against anyone's 6 year stretch. I'm telling you, it's not close, dude.
Okay, so the way you're putting it makes sense because what I've seen a lot of people say it's
That
okay,
he's
he's
already
better
the
than
goat.
Brady. No,
They've
he's
lost the
better than
plot.
Brady.
They've lost the plot. If you're saying that 6 years of Patrick Mahomes is better than 20 years of Tom Brady, they've lost the plot. Okay,
Yeah.
they've lost it. All I'm saying is, to this point, Patrick Mahomes has done an excellent job of meeting and succeed and exceeding where Tom Brady was around this time.
Okay, so on that end, I actually have something here for you.
Yes.
I believe it was the creator of DVOA. That guy went
Mhm.
on Twitter and he was saying basically all of that. He was saying that Mahomes is not currently the GOAT, but through this stretch he has been better than Brady. So like
100%.
he's he's probably better than Brady. Then a guy,
No, not probably. He's better than Brady through the first
okay.
6 years. Go on.
Then a guy, and I'm trying to find the exact stats that they were using because like people were up in arms in a few subreddits here. Um, but then a guy was like, recency bias affects these people so much that they forget their own stats. So then they were looking at basically like the yeah. Uh where is it? I thought it was here. No, okay, got it. Yeah. So then they were looking for a 5 year regular season picks because the creator of the DVOA said, and I quote, "There's going to be a lot of talk in the next 2 weeks about whether Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. I like the Bill James historical baseball abstract because he ranked players two ways, peak and career. I think it's clear Mahomes has passed Brady and Manning as the peak GOAT. Nothing out there
Yeah.
matches what he did from
Yes.
2018 to 2022, even
Yes.
without
100%.
including 2023. Career is
Yeah.
definitely not at Brady's level yet." So you agree with that, right?
That's, that's 100% right. Yeah. No, that's 100%
Okay.
right.
So then a guy on Twitter that has like random Tom Brady highlights, that's the name of the account,
Oh my
goes,
God.
"Your own stats say otherwise." And I want to read you the stats. So they are comparing Tom Brady from 2007 to 2012. So they are basically comparing peak athletes, 5 year regular season peaks. So Brady from 2007 to 2012, Manning from 2003 to 2007, and Mahomes from 2018 to 2022. So total EPA, Brady has both beaten. EPA per play, Manning has both beaten. EPA per game, it's Brady
The
tied with
problem.
Mahomes. Pass
Here's the
DYAR, it's 12 point. It's he leads both players.
here's the
What
problem.
were you gonna say regarding the problem?
Here's the problem. Here's the
Yeah,
problem with that. So we're calling this Patrick Mahomes peak, and we're including a rookie season in it.
yeah, that was gonna be my point in the end because you're comparing peak Mahomes from like what 21 years old. Yeah, the peaks I have it here. The peaks is for Peyton Manning. It's from 27 to 31. For Brady, it's from
Dude,
30 to 35, and Mahomes
dude,
is from 23 to 27.
it's different. It's just different. This guy is so good that we have to include his rookie numbers and compare them to prime all-time great quarterbacks to get them over the hump. It's bad. It's that's what I mean. It is not close, dude. It's not close.
Yeah. I think I didn't experience Jordan, but I think this is what people experienced back then
It's the closing.
because
Dude, it feels inevitable
and it
every
feels like
year.
Brady back then, but probably I'm not gonna say up a level, but up a
But
small
here's the thing.
step
Here's the
because
thing, though.
Brady always
Here's what
had the
we
great defenses
Yes,
and
but
Mahomes
here's what we don't
doesn't.
talk about. Here's what we don't talk about. Brady's first 4 years, I believe it was, he basically went to a Super Bowl 3 of those 4 years. He had a 10-year stretch where he didn't make a Super Bowl.
Yes, that is true.
Like I have not seen a year Patrick Mahomes has played where he hasn't made it to the conference championship. That's ridiculous.
It is. And it feels like Jordan and it feels like Brady because no matter the odds, no matter how
Florida
everything is
got
stacked
swept in his
against you.
rookie year in the playoffs.
Yes, but I'm saying like when you get to the big stages, like not those early stages. And if we ever talk basketball, I'm gonna be pretty adamant that LeBron is better than MJ. So that's just my stance. But for most people, MJ is better, and I understand that. And it feels like that in the sense of you never really count him out, and you never really think that the team doesn't have a chance when he's on. Because even when they're down massively, you just know that he believes in himself and he believes in the team, and
I just
he can carry like I mean he's playing with bum ass wide receivers. He's playing with okay, Rasheed
I
Rice. Well,
want
he's a
you
rookie and had a pretty
I,
solid
I,
game
I don't know how to
year.
explain it anymore. Patrick Mahomes, down double digits at halftime, has a better win percentage than the Panthers in the last 4 years. Like, what do you do that? What do you
That
want to do with that?
that feels ridiculous. And I somehow don't doubt it for a second. which is even funnier. And I mean, it's just baffling, isn't it? It's to the point in which I'm like, I'm sitting here and we're going to the Super Bowl right now. We're
Yep.
like a week away.
Oh,
I guess.
You're debating this pick, aren't you?
No, 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 no. I have
Okay.
my Super Bowl pick pretty locked up, but
Okay.
it's
Okay.
to a point in which I'm hoping that in the Super Bowl, Mahomes is down double digits, so I can bet the money line. So that I can bet the
Oh
KC
my
Chiefs
god.
live and can win a lot of money. So yeah,
Oh my god.
that's where I'm standing right now.
No, like I don't know.
It's
I don't know like what I can say to just describe how good that his rookie year till now has been of Patrick Mahomes. We're blessed. We are blessed to be watching it.
yeah, just enjoy greatness, isn't it? Like
Yeah, exactly. Enjoy it while it's here.
we take this for granted sometimes, and if we bring back a segment that we had like one episode of, what really grinds my gears or something like that, what really annoys me and what really gets me going, it's not the people that are like hating so much on Mahomes that now it's like they are hating as well on
Here's my
like the smallest thing, like Taylor Swift. Now they don't want the Chiefs and Mahomes because now Taylor Swift is gonna show up. I mean, just get a life, dude. Why are you mad that like a singer that like for singer stand and for like celebrity status, it's probably one of the least controversial celebrities out there. Like she doesn't do anything. She's just like standing there and enjoying the game with his boyfriend. And like people are now pissed off that Mahomes is going to another Super Bowl and Taylor Swift is going to be popping up at every single
yeah.
moment. That's like, oh,
So
get a life.
has the shark been jumped? There was this time with Brady that we kind of like Brady transitioned from like this guy everyone loves to everyone's like, oh fuck the Pats, fuck Brady. Have we made this transition yet where everyone's just like fuck the Chiefs, I don't want to see it again?
I guess so. And this one was actually like pretty faster than the transition. Because Brady took a few years, and it's like he was well into his 30s, I believe, when he was being hated. And
Yeah,
now,
It took Brady like over a decade to get to that point.
yeah. And I guess, as you said, it's like because he made the first three Super Bowls and then he didn't really make any other for a while. And I guess just
Right.
like the consistency of the Chiefs, I guess it's more annoying. And now people are saying, okay, but then when you lose it and you read, you won't be as good, or when you lose as Kelsey, you won't be as good. And this awfully reminds
Whatever.
me of when people were saying that they were losing Tyreek Hill. And not only did they win the Super Bowl in the year that they didn't have Tyreek Hill, now they're
Exactly.
going to the second one.
Like I don't exactly, I don't doubt there will be struggles because honestly, like
Yeah.
another thing people aren't talking about, Kelsey has slowed down. He really
Yeah,
has. You
Kelsey
can
has.
see it when he plays.
And the offense this
And
year has slowed down somewhat.
but they have a great defense and Patrick Mahomes like quite honestly, they're looking at what the Chiefs stand to lose. Bro, they got no wide receivers.
Yeah.
Like what
And
about what
still,
they stand to gain eventually if they add wide receivers either through the draft or through free agency?
like, what if they get another option that isn't like a huge liability like
What if
MVS?
what if they get a running back that can catch very well?
And Pacheco is
Oh,
okay.
look, Pacheco is okay. I am not shaving Pacheco, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, yeah, I'm sure that the offense wouldn't be as good without Kelsey. I'm sure that there will be adjustments, but at this point, I sort of trust him to figure out things and make the offense still work without those pieces, much like he made them work without Hill. And sure, it won't be as high a potent of an offense, but those players being out also improves other positions on the team. So it's not just subtractions. You get addictions by subtractions.
Yep. So anyway, talk about the Ravens. Will the Ravens be back? What happened with the Ravens, Alex?
moment got too big, man. At the
Oh,
end of the
you
day,
mean like I
I
said on
think,
the last episode?
yeah. I mean, there was a clip out there with OBJ basically just not yelling out, but like saying to Lamar that he doesn't need to get other players involved. Like at this point, he should start running the ball and he needs to run the ball because that's when the offense is more dynamic and he doesn't need his targets. Nor do other wide receivers need their targets. They just need him to play winning football. And he was basically stuck on his own head. And it was
Mm-hmm.
baffling. I'm not sure if it was play calling or if it was just Lamar, but like 8 rushes, I believe that's what he had. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he had 8 rushes for 54
So
yards. There were
it
points
sounds.
in there, just so I close out this part of the rushing. There was a run in there in which it was fourth and short, like fourth and one, fourth and two, and they call a run play, which is basically QB power and like he takes off and there's a huge gap and he's basically like 1v2 basically versus a safety. One of them looked to have the angle, which was the guy that eventually tackled him. The other didn't really look like he would have any sort of chance to get the angle for the tackle, despite him being like higher on the field. And Lamar just sort of didn't realize that and was looking around. I'm not saying that he could have housed it. I think it's a small chance that he could, but I think that could have been like a much bigger gain than 20 yards. I think that could have been like 40 something. So that was the first sign of like, okay, this game is weird. Like Lamar in regular season keeps running that ball, doesn't just look around and stop running. So yeah, but what were
So
you
it
gonna say?
sounds like you've been through like the 7 stages of grief with the Ravens. Like at first it was like all the no calls. It's the no calls. It's all the no calls. And
And
like
I'm
just
gonna
before
address that.
we, yeah, you can, and they're fair. But just before the podcast, you said you think I give a shit about the Ravens anymore. I think you've successfully gone through all the stages of grief.
And it is true because I think you've mistaken me by someone who really likes the Ravens. And for the most part, this year I enjoyed them, and I thought they were an underdog for most of the season. I thought they were playing pretty good football, and I thought they had a chance here. But like the season is done. Like next season, I'll find other teams that I like as well. It's not necessarily that I like the Ravens as a team in general. I just like them this year, as you know, before like this season and before the season prior, I believe, I was not that big on Lamar Jackson. So this was more of an in-season team than anything else.
All right. Mm.
But
So,
since you mentioned the no calls, I mean, those were just brutal, man.
all right, go for
And
it. Go through them.
yeah, I mean, first off, like there was an OBJ one, and I'll give that one like away because it seemed like OBJ wanted to drag the flag more than anything else. Like the ball wasn't really catchable, but there was still contact there, and I guess that's an okay no call. But the two after that one, I mean, those were just disgraceful. Like the Isaiah Likely, he's going through, and it was before the pass immediately before the pick. Like he was just running the seam. He makes a cut, I believe, and the KC defender just basically puts his hand all over him. The ball isn't even being thrown yet, and just basically makes him fall down with the touch. Like he pulls him down to the ground and likely just stands there like that's clearly either PI or illegal touching or something along those lines, and no call. And then on the pick that Lamar throws, and I'll start by saying that it was a completely dumb decision. I mean, I said that the second that he threw it, it was a dumb pass into triple coverage. But I mean, there's still contact there with Isaiah Likely, and he still gets dragged down and has no chance of making a play on that football. So I think that still should have been PI. And then someone said something along the lines of like Lamar wasn't screwed by the defense or anything because the defense held up pretty well. And the Ravens didn't screw Lamar. And I guess I sort of agree, but I would say that plenty of things on offense screwed Lamar. It wasn't just, I don't think he played necessarily great, But I think that game should have been much closer if, like, for example, Zay Flowers doesn't make a touting penalty that is completely boneheaded by a rookie. And if Zay Flowers doesn't fumble the ball at the goal line and goes for a touchback instead of a touchdown, I mean, those two plays alone, those could have been points in this game. I mean, with the touchdown of Zay Flowers alone, that's 17-17. And the Chiefs, although they were moving the ball well in the first half, in the second half, they really weren't. And I think there's some applauding to do there for McDonald. And I guess we'll talk about McDonald a bit more after we're done with these games. But I think if that touchdown happens by Zay Flowers, I think this is a game that maybe goes to the overtime. And yeah, I mean, he got screwed there by plenty of pieces. He didn't play perfect, but I think he did enough to tie this game, at least.
Sure.
But in
I mean, the
Portugal,
Ravens defense, especially in the second half, did very good at stifling the Kansas City offense.
yeah,
Those
like
that first half though, it felt like this was going to be a blowout, quite
it
honestly.
did, especially in the first drive.
Yeah,
But like in the second half, they made the adjustments and they managed to get a few stops. Unfortunately, the offense wasn't in sync. But again, as I was gonna say, in Portugal we have a saying that one head coach once said about the soccer team. A journalist was making him questions regarding hypotheticals and ifs, and he said something along the lines of, and I think I've said this before here, if my grandma had wheels, she would be a Mack truck. So yeah, ifs and buts don't really win you games. So in the end of the day, like the better team won, and it was KC.
that's fair.
Season
KC
be
was winning.
damned.
Season be damned. Are you ready for this season to be over? Because I definitely am.
No, I think although not the most exciting Super Bowl because you probably would
It's an
rather have a
exciting Super
team.
Bowl.
It is, but I think overall, I think if it was like KC Lions, I think it would be more exciting because the team
That's
like
fair.
Dan Campbell, team that never won, great season, all of that storyline. Now you're getting like Mahomes versus Purdy, who's a guy that people sometimes don't like and don't think that he's all that good. And now you're getting that Super Bowl, and it's a good Super Bowl for all intents and purposes. Those have been the two best teams for probably the whole playoffs. So it is a good Super Bowl. And yeah, I think I'm about done to call it. Just it's time to move on to the rookies, and I need to catch up on that. I've been doing some research and some reading. Have you done anything for the rookies yet?
I have not done anything for the rookies yet. I usually don't start my process until the combine.
Okay. Okay. Because we eventually, and I believe I said this the other show, we should look at a few like mock drafts from guys from the industry. Like
Okay, I'm cool with
Daniel
that.
Daniel
Just
Jeremiah, Mel
understand that.
Kiper.
Just understand when we do that, you're probably going to be taking point on that because I have not done research on some of these players yet.
Yeah, like for most of them, I also haven't. Like I've been starting to look at like a few wide receivers. I've looked into a few QBs, all of that, and then I'm reading like prospect scouting reports. I'm reading through some like drafts from that I've said, for example, from Daniel Jeremiah and all of that. And I've been listening to a few draft shows. So that's how I'm starting the process. But yeah, after the Super Bowl, it's probably when I pick up on that. So yeah, it's exciting times coming. But first, we still have a Super Bowl to get on with. And we still have the whole coaching hirings. And I guess, are you done talking about the games, or you still want to mock me some more?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think I did enough damage, you know. I don't know. Last week, Alex, what do you think? Okay. That's what I thought too.
It is. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. So, a few
Are we
more
gonna get
coaches.
to predicting the Super Bowl? Actually, let's
I'm not
predict the
sure
Super
if.
Bowl first, then go to the coaches.
Do you want to do that this week or next week?
This week.
This week. Okay. Maybe
Yeah,
I thought
I
you
want
maybe
to.
wanted to save it for next week.
No,
Okay. Okay. Okay, so Super Bowl.
hmm
Who do you think wins it?
Kansas City.
Okay, so we won't disagree on that one. I think it's gonna be Mahomes again, winning that Super Bowl. Now that you see the game going, because I believe what I've heard prior was that the Chiefs weren't the favorite. Is that correct, or did I have it wrong? Let me check. Super Bowl
I'm
odds,
going to. I'm going to the DraftKings Sportsbook right now. Let's see.
and that is correct. They are not. They are effectively not the favorites.
Are you ready for a crazy NBA stat?
What?
The Detroit Pistons still have not won as many games as the Detroit Lions have this season. They've played 46 games.
Pistons are really bad, aren't they? And like from what I've been
They're
following,
they're historically bad.
they have like a pretty big um, losing record, wasn't it? I believe they were either tying the record or on the verge of breaking it, but didn't. Was that correct, or did they actually break the record for
Oh
like
no,
high?
we're in the middle of the season. They're only a little more than halfway done. They're 6-40 through the halfway point.
No, but
What's
like
the record?
losing streak.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I
they
believe
tied that.
they
They tied
tied
it.
it.
They
Okay,
tied
yeah.
it. Yeah, they tied it.
Yeah, I knew I saw something along those lines, but I wasn't sure if they won a game when they tied it, or if they have actually like gone a game over the. So now they have the record and then they won the game. But yeah, they tied it just.
Yeah. Worst record. Oh, they're well on. Oh wow, they are well on track to break the worst NBA record. Jesus,
That is nuts. What's the worst NBA record ever?
like they're crushing it.
Hmm.
34-48. Oh wait, hold on. Where is
No,
this?
that's certainly not the
That's not
worst
it.
ever. Okay, I'm guessing it might have been held by the Sixers.
Yeah, I think so too. Hold on. What's
Yeah,
the worst?
the whole trust to process thing.
Worst regular season record. 7-59. There it is. They're one win away from. They are one win away.
That was the 76ers.
That was the Bobcats.
Oh, the Bobcat. Oh, okay. So that might have been like a season in which they got CP3 the year after, probably.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I was trying to give you a basketball fact, like
No. No. No.
showing that I know ball,
They,
but apparently I don't know
they,
ball.
they actually ended up losing the lottery in that draft.
Hmm.
They
Which year was
won
it?
2011, 2012. So they had the worst record in the NBA, and they ended up one, two, three, four.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, where are you? Oh, they ended up number two. Never mind. Oh God, they selected Michael Kidd Gilchrist with their.
Oh, that was the AD draft.
Yeah, it was the AG draft. They selected Michael Kidd Gilchrist with their record-breaking worst performing break.
Jesus Christ. I can't imagine the 2013 season being much better than that.
Poor guys.
Oh, yeah, then they picked Ford, the draft after. And they drafted Cody Zeller. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
I feel so bad for the Cats slash Hornets. Oh
Hornets.
man, they're the Hornets now. Anyway, we got off track. We got off track.
Yeah.
So Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl. How do you think it's going? You think they're going to be down by double digit at half and then come back?
Now,
Flip the script.
I actually think they do a game plan, much like the Lions, but that they execute it like in the second half. So I think this might be. You can play the clip. I think this will be a exactly. I think they win this game by double digits. So yeah, give me, I guess, the Chiefs because they apparently seem to be the underdogs. They are +2
Yeah, I'm
in
taking
the Super
Chiefs
Bowl.
to win outright, and I'm taking them in the spread too. I have had a terrible uh record against the spread, but to be fair during the playoffs, I usually go for winners, and I've been bad at predicting that too. I just predicted the Super Bowl right, and that's about it.
Yeah, you went 3-9 in the playoffs, 25% win rate. This
Yeah,
guy on another end, he went 10-2 in the playoffs. That's 83%.
and none of his Super Bowl picks made it.
Yeah, you can't win them all.
The
Super Bowl
duality
pick
of predictions,
for both of us. It's KC and KC -2.
which means the 49ers are about to win
The
their first
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl in a while. Yeah.
Do
I,
you
I
think this is
I honestly wish I would have tracked what our win-loss record was when both of us agreed on a spread.
I can look into that because I still have the
It
records
has
from
to be bad, dude. It
it
has to
has
be catastrophic.
from the
You have to
games.
get it ready for next week. You have to get it ready for next week.
Okay, I can look into that. That's
Okay.
it's not that hard. I think I have every single week here still. Yeah, like I have every single week here. So it's not gonna be that hard. I just need to like put them into an actual like spreadsheet and just mix and match. But I'll get that. And now, do you think this game goes in terms of like the over under? Do you think this is a high scoring game? Do you think this is more of a like
So
Chiefs Ravens game in which it's
I
like
I think
17-10, 17-7?
I think both defenses are well, the Chiefs defense is fairly solid. I think it's boring in the start, and I think it gets really excited into the third, fourth.
Hmm.
Like 7-14 first half, and then it finishes at like 35-28.
Okay. Man, that would be a banger of a Super Bowl. The over under is 47.
Mm-hmm.
I think they expect like not like the worst game in terms of scoring. This is not a game in the 44s, 43s, so not a like slugfest, but not a barn burner either. Like they don't expect 50 plus points. So I think I I struggle with it because I think I think I think the Niners are one thing, but like in the Lions game, they really did show me something that I didn't know that they would have. So I want to say that the final score for this game is 24-13. That's actually like 47 on the dot. So my score is 24-13. And yours is what? 35-28. Was that what you said?
Yep, 35-28.
Okay. So that's the Super Bowl here. I guess we can talk about it more next week. We'll still have time for that.
Yep.
And now I think we need to look at the coaches because a bunch of coaches signed while we were in our week after we had the show last week. Like at least what, 4 coaches, 5 coaches signed? Yeah, I believe so. So let's look at some of these coaches. Okay, so first one, I guess we'll start with like the not so hyped ones. So Dave Canales goes to the Carolina Panthers. Dave Canales, OC for the Bucks, longtime Seahawks coach. I believe he was another the coaching staff or the front office for quite a while. 10 plus years, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he was 13 years as Pete Carroll's assistant in Seattle. So he spent last season with the Bucks. He revived Baker Mayfield's career. What do you think about this signing?
I think it's the signing they probably needed to make because they need to like all the draft capital they spent on Bryce Young, they need to get something out of that. That said, I'm not sure the answer is in the coaching. I think the answer is more in fixing the offensive line and getting weapons around Bryce Young.
Yeah, and
And it's
that position, that's did you see who they signed as GM? I'm guessing either I cut off or you
no,
cut
who do they
off.
no, who do
Okay,
they
so they spent basically they hired an outside firm to make a search into who should be their GM. Like pretty smart for David Tepper. I mean, he has been a pretty bad owner, so I guess him staying out of the process is all well and good. And they eventually signed the guy who was in Carolina and was basically his right hand man for quite a while. So effectively, like he will have full control of that thing, and Tapper is quite a bad owner, probably one of the worst right now. So I'm not necessarily sure if the team that this GM will build is anything to write home about. But I think Canales is it's lukewarm, isn't it? Like it's a guy who spent like damn near what a decade and a half in Seattle. Didn't really get much consideration. Then got an OC job. Like people didn't really expect much from this team in general. He gets like a pretty good year out of Baker Mayfield. Basically, right revives Baker's career, and now he gets an head coaching job. It seems premature, but as you said, I think I understand it from the point of if Price doesn't work, we're all fucked. So it's better to get Price working. And who better than a guy who has shown that they can fix a QB? So I understand the signing from that point. I don't think it's the most exciting hiring ever. Because as far as we know, this might just be a flash in the pan. But I mean, he called plays. The offense was good. He led the team. He got a playoff win under his belt as an OC. So there's worse hirings out there.
Yeah, I
So
guess so.
lukewarm in general.
Yeah, about. So
Now,
what's the next head coach?
it's a team that I'm not so sure they are better off right now. The Falcons hired Raheem Morris, the DC from the Rams. Eh,
They
was my
did.
reaction.
Was your reaction?
Yeah. Mm. It's hard because like this is just going the retread route. Like this is a coach that although it was a few years ago, I mean like he got his head coaching experience with the Bucks back in 2009, 2011. It just didn't go that well. And like I believe when he was with Dan
Yeah.
Quinn in Atlanta, he took off as the it took the team over as the interim head coach, and he went 4-7. So like the defense from the Rams, he did a good job this year, and he has been doing a good job. I say
Yeah.
this year because this year like they were more
They
hamstring
didn't
in
have
terms
all
of what they
stars
can do.
across the board. Yeah, they didn't have all
Yes,
stars.
they didn't have the money, so basically he had to work with what he had, and things went okay. I'm just not excited by the retread coach. It's like I'm more excited about a guy like Dave Canales. Why? Because the unknown sometimes it's better, right? It's like you know that it might not work out, but you don't know if it will or not. With a guy like Raheem Morris, you're just sort of like, we've seen it not work. Maybe he has matured as a coach. Maybe he's better than he was back in 2009, 2011. But it's just like a mass signing. Just doesn't scream like they want to. And you had an
So,
issue with Arthur Smith because he
hmm
was this and that, and he wasn't the most like like imaginative guy, and he didn't have like the best offense around. And you hired a
Nope.
defensive-minded coach. Yeah,
Atlanta really likes being mediocre.
they do.
So wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you telling me Bill Belichick didn't get a gig?
Yet, and there's only one more job available right now:
Who?
the Washington Commanders.
Oh no.
That is the
Bill's
last
not
one that
getting a
is
gig.
available. He might not. I I'm not gonna say
Isn't
that
that
I
crazy?
wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, but I would be surprised. But then again, I mean, if you look at the projects on the table, and it's like, okay, the Chargers, and we'll talk about that one in a bit. The Chargers were an intriguing position, but the roster was hamstringed with like bad salaries, all of that. Atlanta, could it be that just Bill like said no to Atlanta? Because like the project wasn't the best for him. Because I could see
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I believe I said it on one of the episodes. Maybe it was last week, but I did say at one point in one of our episodes that Bill Belichick is going to go to a team with no quarterback and a good defense to a team with no quarterback and a team.
Yeah, you did say it. I believe it
So,
was last week as well.
so
The
I mean,
Panthers,
maybe
no. The Panthers, I just couldn't see him going there. Like the ownership is too meddling for him to go there. And then the Seahawks, I also didn't understand. Like
so.
going
Maybe
from
he's
like,
just waiting for a situation that because maybe he does care about his legacy. He doesn't strike me as a guy who cares about legacy, but maybe he does, and he's just waiting for the right situation so that he can be successful again.
yeah, I can see that. I mean, if we're looking at NFL teams who might have an opening last year, so let's take out the teams that made a signing this year, and let's say all of them give another chance to the coach that they are at right now.
It's a bold
So,
assumption, but go on.
okay. Then let's look at, for example, the Buffalo Bills.
Hmm.
If McDermott goes, that might be an opening, and it's not that far fetched. The FC
It's
North, I
not.
really don't see anything making a change there, to be honest. So we can skip that one. The FC South, I mean, you can look at the Jags. If Doug Peterson has another bad year, uh, I don't really see anyone else in there either. Then the AFC West, I don't see anything there. But then when you look at the NFC East, then you're looking at the Cowboys and you're looking at the Eagles, for example. So those are intriguing openings.
They are.
Then if Chicago does go with Caleb, they might have an opening. And
Would
I'm sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure
listen?
they will have an opening.
Would you be here for the rumors and press conferences between with Bill Belichick and Jerry Jones?
Hey, that would be fun.
They would be very entertaining.
Yeah, I mean,
I
isn't
just
the
imagine
NFL
Jerry saying something off his rocker and then an interviewer asking and Bill Belichick just being like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Get out of here with that."
isn't like the NFL the biggest reality show in the whole world? So
Pretty
that would
much,
just be
yeah.
fun. So
It would be fun to see Jerry Jones and Bill Belichick in a building together, having to cooperate.
yeah. And then yeah, in the NFC, I think Chicago might be fun. And they might have an opening. So if you can work with those guys, I'm not sure. I think there might be better openings next year than this year. But we shall see. I mean, it's a bold move, but I think like he likely has offers whichever way this thing goes next year. So maybe he just wants to sit down a year. He's been coaching for what, 30 years, 40 years. Dude just needs a break. But yeah, going back to the list of coaches, I believe we talked about the Titans signing Callahan last show. We
Yep.
talked about the Raiders signing Antonio Pierce. We talked about the Patriots with Jared Mayo. And now we can go with the Chargers. And the Chargers got the big prize from the coaching carousel. And the Chargers land, much to my disbelief, they land Jim Harbaugh. Do you think Jim Harbaugh works in the NFL right now? Or have we just been making
Yes.
this big
No.
fuss about?
100%.
Okay,
No.
so this is
100%.
this is not gonna be
He picked.
like
He picked the Chargers. That team, like Brandon Staley, deserves like an award for not being able to make the playoffs with that team.
yeah, he doesn't deserve any award though. He just deserves like the, those we talked about those medals that you give to second place. That's what he deserves. Just like
Participation
yeah,
trophies.
he just deserves that one. Just a participation trophy, and that's it. Let's not go too crazy. Perfect. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex from the past. Lovely. Okay. So this will not be a hiring that will be sitting here and be like, yeah, we should have known this wasn't gonna work. But this is 100% gonna work.
It should.
It should.
Will it? We'll see. That's why you
Okay.
play the games.
So I look
But it
forward
should.
to
I
like
think it will.
in a month or two, we'll all be sitting here
The
like,
Chargers
oh,
will no longer hurt me. Woohoo!
yeah, I cannot wait for like remember back when they were making all those huge like signings. I believe it was 2021. Yeah, that's the Chargers, man. They take advantage of you. Remember a few years ago when the NFC, the AFC West was making all of those crazy signings and like uh, Las uh, Las Vegas signed Chandler Jones, the
Ooh,
Chargers signed Khalil Mack.
Mac.
Yeah, the Broncos got Russell Wilson. And it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, all of those teams are gonna join up to beat Mahomes, especially the Chargers. The Chargers are the new hotness. The Chargers are gonna beat Mahomes. I cannot wait for that to happen again next year. And it's like we'll be sitting here next year and be like, yeah,
Oh
so
no.
no team really beat Mahomes, and we're just sitting here again because the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. But to Harbaugh's credit, wherever he has gone, he has won, right?
What? Yes. What if the Chiefs ever like strike gold and get a wide receiver in the like a good wide receiver in the draft?
And it's over.
And it's so he's like, well, that's it then, you know?
I'm daydreaming here, but can you imagine if they were like, okay, fuck it, we need a wide receiver, and just traded everything and went for, and I'm not even gonna say Marvin Harrison Jr., but
Oh,
went for
there's
Malik Neighbors.
You're ridiculous.
Oh baby, yeah,
Oh,
it is.
okay. Here's a scenario. If that happened, if the Kansas City Chiefs traded up, got Malik Nabbers, you think when we get to Dynasty Rookie Draft, you think people are picking Nabbers over Marvin Harrison Jr.? Let's
Um,
say it's worse. Let's say Harrison Jr. goes to the Patriots and
yeah,
Nabbers goes to the Chiefs.
I was gonna say because I think Marvin Harrison Jr. goes to the Cardinals right now. I would say no. But if he goes to the Patriots, I think some people might overthink this and they might go neighbors. And I think that's a
Yes.
mistake.
I think there's like a spectrum. So like I think right now, and we'll see how the combine works. But let's say they have similar combines. I think there are people right now, if you got them into a rookie draft, would draft Neighbors over Marvin Harrison Jr.
And those people are
I
the idiots that you should take advantage of.
I think that if the team situation was like, oh, this team's really good for one and this team's really bad for the other, that would become more extreme. I think overall, like when you average it out, more people are going to be selecting Marvin Harrison Jr. over Nabbers. But I think you can bridge that gap a bit by having Nabbers in a better team situation. But we'll see.
People are dumb, man. That's all I can
But
say.
we'll see.
I think Marvin
But we'll
Harrison
see.
Jr. will be great wherever he goes. So I don't really put any stock into like thinking about Nevers over him. But hey, Austin, if you're out there and you're listening, you should definitely do that, man. I think that works great for your team.
This
Major
guy.
props, and Alex approves that. He approves that message. Okay, so Harbaugh will work for sure, right? Harbaugh gets to the playoffs. Harbaugh gets to the Super Bowl.
I don't know
Harbaugh
about the
unlocks
Super Bowl,
Herbert.
but
Is that
they
it?
better make a playoff run.
Okay, and just so I know, because I've made those as well. What's the excuse for Herbert if this doesn't work out right now? Just so I know.
So here's the excuse.
Okay, there's always one, right?
Give me your top 5 AFC quarterbacks.
Okay, so it's Mahomes. Let me look at the full list.
I already
Okay,
know
so
mine.
Mahomes, Burrow, Anthony Richard. What? No. My
Ah,
bad.
what? What did you just say? What did you just say?
I kid. So Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and heh, who might the
And
last one be?
exactly. Who might the last one be?
I guess you have to give it to Herbert.
But there's your argument. There are so many good like the top 5 quarterbacks of the AFC are probably like the top 5 quarterbacks in Dynasty. The only people from the NFC who would have an argument is Hurts as far as Dynasty go. And if you want to take away the Dynasty aspect, I'd
Oh,
argue that 4 of the top 5 quarterbacks in the AFC are 4 of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL.
okay, but pause. Let's talk about NFL here. So we have
Okay.
established, and you've said that I gave you the blueprint. We have
Yep.
established that good coaches, good QBs win.
Yep.
So I've named you the 5 QBs. So one of them is from the AFC East. So let's say that QB
Hmm.
wins the division. One of them is
Yep.
from the AFC North. Let's say he wins the
Hmm.
division. Then
Yep.
there's another one from the AFC North. So let's say that's a playoff spot for the wild card. And then there's 2 in the West. So one wins the division, one makes the playoffs through the wild card spot. So if the Chargers miss the playoffs, what's the excuse again? Because
Cleveland
we have.
Browns figured it out.
So you're telling me that Deshaun Watson is a better QB, huh?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The margins in the AFC are so fucking thin. Like
That's the margins.
imagine Joe Burrow doesn't go out. So now you have let's talk about this for a second. Now
Mhm.
you have quarterbacks that who we never considered for top 5. I'm gonna give you a few. Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa. If you want to put Deshaun there, you can put Deshaun there, but I think it's the Browns team that's the argument, kind of like how the 49ers team is the argument for the 49ers. And by the way, the Steelers haven't had a losing season in like half a decade or like a decade.
Mhm.
So the margins are very thin in the AFC, my dude.
Oh,
Very, very thin.
okay. So I just want to point
Oh, by
out,
the way, Aaron Rodgers. We didn't mention that guy Aaron Rodgers either.
yeah, because he's what,
That bum.
40, goes
That
on
bum.
like Darkness
Yeah.
Retreats, is a conspiracy
So
theory like
so
lunatic,
really
and
like
has no Achilles. Maybe that's why we kept him off the list. I'm not so sure, Angelo, but I think that might be it. That might be the
but here's
deciding factor in the end.
you'd be harder pressed to find quarterbacks in the AFC than you would be to name good ones in the NFC.
Yes, that is correct.
So I don't know, like you're saying that's the excuse. The AFC is stacked,
However,
dude.
however, we both placed them inside of the top five, didn't we?
We did.
Okay, so we have established that he's a top five QB. We have established that Harbaugh will work. So they have the QB and they have the head coach. And you're telling me that maybe because, I don't know, they have the Browns with Watson, who looks like a shell of himself, and they have the Dolphins with Tuo, can't throw in the cold. And they have the Pittsburgh Steelers with Arthur Smith as the offensive coordinator. Yeah, right. And who else do they have? Oh, they have the New York Jets, who I'm pretty sure I never saw in the playoffs since I started watching the NFL. Okay, yeah. And they have who else? Oh, they have C.J. Stroud and Oh yeah, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, that's correct. That's the guy we appointed as like the next big thing, who is just the next thing probably. And who else do they have? Oh yeah, they have the
Hmm.
Raiders. Yeah, yeah, and they have the Titans now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I definitely see why you think like he has an excuse to miss the playoffs. Got it. Yeah, Angelo. I'm just that's just the excuses, isn't it? Like I've made some for him. Like I'm talking against myself as well here, but I think it's time to run those out because he might not have anyone anymore. Like there's no Brandon Staley anymore, so that's the main excuse out of the door. Let's see what else now. The Can we just call him the social media QB?
Jesus, dude.
Emmanuel Acho. Come on out. Yeah, I mean, I still think he's a good QB, but I think the excuses are way too much, and we're just. I mean, I made you a question, and I was expecting like, no, there's no excuse right now, and you made one on the spot, man. And it's like, it's unbelievable what we do for this guy.
Yeah, we got him on tap. We got this list.
We
We got
got
this list. Okay.
excuses on excuses on excuses on excuses. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
this is
do.
looking like an
We do.
Eminem rap song because it's like bars on bars on bars on bars.
And we do. We do. We do.
Ah,
We do. We do. We do.
okay, so final signing for the head coaches. That leaves just two spots available. That left my Seahawks with no coach, and that
It
left
did.
with the Commanders with no coach. And my
It did.
Seahawks got it done as soon as the Ravens got off the playoff game. They were on tap with Mike McDonald for the interview. The guy was going on the plane and he was getting the calls for the interview. And the Ravens have been eliminated for what, 3 days now. And they managed to get two interviews with Mike McDonald. And they have appointed him as the youngest ever. No, wait. It's the youngest head coach in the NFL right now at 36 years old. Mike McDonald coaching my Seahawks. Good signing, but I wish we went for a more offensive guy. And that might have been Ben Johnson, who reportedly no, he said that he has called the Seahawks and the Commanders. I believe this came out yesterday, saying that he was gonna stay as the OC in Detroit, so he's going nowhere for another season. So with him out of the way, I like the signing. I just wish we had someone a bit more offensive. But I mean, what is done with the defense for the Ravens? I mean, dude has been doing pretty well. I believe that the defense for the Ravens was, if I'm not mistaken, the best defense in terms of points per game. I believe they got 60 sacks, if I'm not mistaken, and I believe it was around 30 takeaways, if I got that number right. I saw a tweet about it earlier today. Yeah, it is here. Yeah. They allowed the fewest points per game with 16.5, allowing recording the most sacks with 60 and the most takeaways with 31. And he will have at his disposal Devon Witherspoon, 23 years old, Tariq Woolen, 24 years old, Boye Mafe, 25 years old, Jordan Brooks, 26 years old, Derek Hall, 22 years old, Uchenna Nwosu, 27 years old, and Dremonte Jones, 27 years old. So, I mean, it's a very young defense for a very young head coach. And I'm excited because I think this works. I think
You think this works?
I think this works, but
Who's the quarterback?
that's still Gino, I think. Gino, for as much shit as he got, had a pretty solid season. Still.
Oh, this guy.
And he had plenty of fourth down comebacks. So I'm intrigued by who he signs for the offensive side of the ball, though, because most of the staff is gone. Our prior OC, thankfully, is gone, and we'll talk about the
You
OCs
said
in a bit.
thankfully is God.
Thankfully, and I'm not sure you
I'm
know.
surprised they didn't hire Arthur Smith as the offensive coordinator so we can do screens to Zach Charbonnet.
And I'm not sure if you know who the OC went to, like which team he went to. Do you know who our previous
No.
OC went? Okay, I'll tell you in a bit. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he does on the offensive side of the ball. If I had to guess, I probably poaches someone from the Ravens. I mean, he has worked under Harbaugh for what, 9 years, if I'm not mistaken. So the guy has
Yep.
been coaching since he's 27. I'm 26, so I'm
Oh,
excited.
makes me
I
feel
like the
bad.
signing. I think they could have gone more offensive, but I think the guy has shown that he can coach teams pretty well. Now, I might be talking against myself because this might be a flash in the pan, and much like Dave Cannell is just blowing my face. But I actually like this one, and I think this will be a fun signing. I'm
You
just
have hope.
intrigued by who they go for with the offense.
You have hope.
I have hope, and it's the youngest head coach in the league.
Okay, that could be disastrous or it could be amazing.
Yeah,
You don't know which.
it can be
You don't know
McDaniel's,
which.
or it can be what, Zach Taylor? Let's see.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh God damn it, man! I was saying one bad one and one good one, and you're like, yeah, Cliff, yeah, it can be McDaniel's or Cliff Kingsbury, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I don't want neither. So, two big names for OC that I've made the rounds. One of them is your favorite former head coach in the league, Arthur Smith, ladies and
Oh.
gentlemen. He got another job. He got another
Why did
job. And he
so
deserves,
like
wait. He deserves a round of applause. We're back, baby. Like we never left. So, what do you have to say about the new signing for the
no,
Steelers?
like I was gonna go on a little tirade, but honestly, fuck the Steelers. So you know what? Good signing, Steelers. You know, you made sure that you can be mediocre for the years to come. Like I don't know. Like congratulations. Enjoy your 9-8 seasons perpetually.
Okay. So, I am not defending
Mhm. Uh-huh.
signing Arthur Smith.
Uh-huh.
But, but, let me read you. What is our main, like, pushback against Arthur Smith as an head coach? What do we say that he does bad? It's that he
He
doesn't
doesn't know
use
how to
his
use the
what?
talent he has.
Okay, the talent that he has. Okay, so let me read you a few things here. So Drake London this year, was he overused, underused? What do you think?
I'd say slightly underused, but that's not the
Okay.
culprit.
Okay, so Drake London had 109 targets and a 23% target share this year. In 2020, this wide receiver had 106 targets and a 27% target share. This wide receiver's name is A.J. Brown. So this is back when he was the offensive coordinator for the Titans.
Hmm.
Kyle Pitts this past season, 89 targets, 18% target share. Pretty solid, I would say. Bijan Robinson, 275 total touches. Najee Harris with the Steelers this past season, 284 touches. So 9 touches less. Bijan had 9 touches less. Have we overblown that he just doesn't use his players because he gives chances to like John Smith?
Maybe, but quite honestly, you just said that hobbled and barely moving Najee Harris got more touches than Bijan Robinson. So did you really just invalidate your whole argument with that one there?
Maybe, maybe. And I have another one for you. I have another one for you. Okay, okay. So, last season,
Like, what's
that
Mark
Arthur
Andrews'
Smith.
share? What's Travis Kelsey's share? Because that's how good Kyle Pitts' talent is.
Let's look at it. Target share for tight ends. Most targeted tight ends.
Kelsey,
Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. It would be great if they give me the actual target share. And I'm guessing they won't because they are wankers. Great. Just most targeted player by team. I guess we can look at this way still. So he was a top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He was a top 10 tight end in terms of targets.
he should be a top five.
The guys he was behind were Evan Ingram, TJ Hawkinson,
That's sad.
David Njoku,
That's
Travis
sad.
Kelsey. That's not sad, Travis Kelsey. Sam
No,
Laporta, Trey McBride, who
that's
didn't become a
sad.
thing until like week 8. Jake
That's
Ferguson,
that's triple sad.
Dalton Kincaid.
That's also sad.
He was,
He got
however,
fucking outpaced by a rookie tight end. Two rookie tight ends, Alex.
he was ahead of George
He
Kittle,
got
though.
outpaced by two rookie tight ends, Alex.
He was ahead of George Kittle.
George Kittle has to compete with Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk.
And he missed the last game of the season.
Kyle Pitts has to compete with fucking Drake London and
And
Jonu
Jono
Smith.
Smith.
Stop
Thank
this!
you. Put some
Stop
respect on
this!
his name,
Stop
please.
this!
Please,
Stop
please.
this! Stop this!
Okay, so final one. Last season, Arthur Smith was an offensive coordinator. His QB had 3,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and the running back got 2,000 yards. I believe this has got to be from scrimmage, and 17 touchdowns. Or maybe it was just running back in total.
This guy.
And they had the 4th overall offense in the league.
Who's this?
This was I believe it was 2020 Titans, back when Arthur Smith was the head coach, the offensive coordinator.
That's the
My bad.
coordinator.
Yes.
He had Derrick
So
Henry.
now I'm reading all of this from a Steelers subreddit that is probably on Copium,
Oh, the
but
Cope is real.
the cope is real. But have we been too harsh because we are fantasy football fans who want our players to get hyper targeted? And for the actual NFL, is it actually like an okay OC? Or is this like the worst signing after Matt Canada?
It's one of the two. I'm ready to see which one it is.
Okay. So it can be anything. It can even be a both. A boat, my bad. And finally, the other OC that I wanted to talk about was the guy that was formerly with my Seattle Seahawks, Shane Waldron. You have no idea where this guy went, right?
Say that again.
So let me tell you, Shane Waldron, the guy who was the OC for my Seahawks this past like 2 or 3 seasons. You have no idea where he went, do you?
Nope.
So let me tell you what.
Oh
This
god.
guy went to the Chicago Bears.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I really want to say that they should keep Justin Fields another year just so I can double it on them now because
Are you
now I don't
so if
like Justin Fields and I don't like Shane Waldron.
so are you gonna be like me during the Justin Fields draft where after Chicago announces Caleb Williams, you're gonna say Caleb Williams party over?
Um, Not necessarily because I think like the main issue with him is like it's not the development of QBs, and I think they have a QB coach who will develop them okay-ish. It's like his game plan is just the most bewildering stuff ever. I mean, the dude will start with run, 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 run. I mean, this is a team, and
I watched you
Chicago
guys
will
do
it will
check
have the
down.
same. They will have the same exact thing. It's like they want to establish the run and run the football, and this is what we wanted in Seattle as well. And he was like, okay, we'll start with that. And then halfway through the game, it's like 1st and 10, pass. Second and I don't know, 2, pass. Third and 5 or 8 because we got a sack, pass. And it's like you're out. Great, great, dude. Just mix in the run, please. No, he just completely forgets about the run, and that is not a great trait to have. You just basically shut down a whole half of your playbook because you just want to pass the ball in the most bewildering situations imaginable. So yeah, I'm sorry, Bears fans. I don't necessarily like that signing for you. Now, you all might still continue to call me a hater, and that's okay. But I'm not thrilled about that signing, to say the least.
I wonder if the Bears just like to be mediocre. You know what I
Could
mean?
be.
You know, like how the
Maybe they're
Oakland,
just the
you don't watch
Falcons.
baseball, but the Oakland Athletics basically choose to be mediocre because they refuse to pay people. What if like the Bears just choose to be mediocre by hiring mid coaching and front office staff? What if that's the thing?
I mean, it could be. Maybe they're just the Falcons from the north, right?
The Falcons North.
Like if the Falcons played in the NFC North, they would be the Bears, right? It's like
Yeah,
they are a pretty good comparison.
yeah.
Both
I
just
mean,
enjoy
you're not
being
wrong.
mid.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So yeah,
Have you been mid today? We should save the Bears dunking, but I don't care. Dunk on the Bears some more, Alex. Dunk on them.
we'll, we'll dunk on the Bears whenever and wherever. We'll see which other opportunities we have to dunk on the Bears. We'll see how that goes.
Hmm.
Maybe we have surprises. Maybe we don't. We shall see.
Maybe you should press that subscribe button.
Maybe you should. Maybe check out next week to see what we have. Maybe. Okay. So, any other team you want to dunk on?
No, no, I've had my fun. This was the Angelo episode.
This was the Angelo episode. And it should have been an even better Angelo episode, wasn't it? You just couldn't find the best way to like work a few things
Oh,
out.
you have no idea what I had
Uh,
planned, dude.
uh, I
I
can
was I was
imagine.
I was gonna play all the fucking tape. I was literally like on my lunch going through last week's episode, and I was like taking out clips to play. Like, oh my god, I had so much prepared that got fucked up.
Yeah,
But I do have a
unfortunately.
story. I do have a story before we head out.
Go for it.
So yesterday was my birthday, and
Oh, happy
the
birthday.
place the place I worked at had a plan of gathering everyone I work around and singing happy birthday to me.
Okay.
Well, they picked out a time to do this. I was blissfully unaware that this was even a plan. So they gathered everyone and went to the area that I'm usually in, and I had taken a lunch. So you literally just see a sea of people swarm this one area and then disperse. That visual
Oh,
made me laugh.
oh, buddy. You messed up. You messed up
I
there.
did messed up.
Poor
And I
guys.
was I was so happy when I found that. I was like, "Oh, that's great."
Unlucky. You messed up.
Hey, I'm cool with it.
I know. Maybe next year they will have it.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Okay. So
You
is
can
this
do
our
the
show?
outros, buddy. That's the show, buddy.
Okay. Okay. Well, as Angela used to say, there's a fancy, nice little donate button right there that you can click to help us out. If you're listening on the Apple Podcasts app, if you're listening on the Spotify app, just be sure to leave us a subscription. Oh my god, I blundered it. Major
Again.
fumble. A bigger fumble than my Super Bowl picks. Just be sure to leave
Exactly.
us a 5-star review. Turn on the auto downloads, please, and just subscribe, of course. And if you're listening on YouTube, just subscribe, turn on the notifications, just ring the bell, turn on. No, 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 I blundered it again. Leave us a comment
We
right
need a
there.
Alex
Leave us a
blundered
like as
comment.
well. Yeah, we need one. We need one. Leave us a like and just be sure to tune in next week, guys, and every single week afterwards, because there's plenty to come. The NFL season might be done, but we are not. Talk to you guys next week.